The Texas Parks and Wildlife television series is supported in part by Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation, conserving the wild things and wild places of Texas thanks to members across the state.
Additional funding provided by the Toyota Tundra. Your local Toyota dealers are proud to support outdoor recreation and conservation in Texas. Adventure, it's what we share.
Coming up on Texas Parks and Wildlife.
Rock climbing, it just like connects me to nature because you're like doing something with it. You're working with the rock.
We're training a whole new class of new conservation professionals.
We might talk to Europe or Antarctica or someone right here in Texas.
Texas Parks and Wildlife, a television series for all outdoors.
This place offers some peace, a peaceful retreat in a way. And it's special, it's definitely special, and we do our best to keep it that way as well. Alessandra Valenzuela is my full name. I'm from El Paso, Texas. The first time I ever went climbing was here, like when I was like 18. Ooh, dude, cast iron is amazing. Whenever we go up to nobody, we can do cast iron, and it's a high ball too. What got me into it is probably the desire to just be outside all the time because the freedom that it brings and the joy and the purpose, all of that. So then we need to go, but we can go through here. Okay. The Rock Rodeo, it's kind of like a little festival, bringing people together from all around the country. You have like all types of people too. You've got your introverts, your extroverts coming together. Yes. Like everyone's so encouraging of each other.
Go for it, Leon. You got this.
I'm from British Columbia, Canada. This is my first time in Hueco Tanks. It is not what I expected at all. Looking at Hueco Tanks on the outside, it just kind of looks like a little rock formation. But then once you get in there, it's just like so expansive and crazy. And it is such a maze. The really tall cactus things, I can't remember what they're called, but they're super wild looking.
The whole thing. Rock climbing, it just like connects me a little bit more to nature because you're like doing something with it. You're working with the rock. You have to have your fingers in the right direction, your foot on the right little nub.
Oh, close.
You need that patience and you need that determination to be able to go through that process because it's not easy all the time.
What do you mean the left, huh? Oh. So go out left.
You got it.
That can carry on into your everyday life. If you're gonna take your time to figure out this puzzle, you'll do that with any curveballs thrown your way.
Yes! That's the first time I've ever done that.
You can get through anything. That's why I like it.
Nice.
I still am terrified of heights, which is like actually surprisingly common amongst rock climbers. I get into like this really focused zone where you know you just have to execute.
Send it, Ella.
Yes!
I think that feeling of like needing to execute is what produces the flow state.
And then you just walk to the top of the boulder.
When it all comes together and you do the route, like smoothly. It's one of the best feelings in the world.
Psyched.
That's why they're called problems. Yeah, it's like a problem to solve.
Come on, beast. Come on. Come on, dog.
You can go almost anywhere in the world and not find this much good rock in such a small area. And you can literally just, move your paths 10 feet across from the problem you're working on and find another world-class problem.
Good, yeah. Good, left foot, left foot. Come on, homie, tight. Pinch it.
It's pretty addictive. I've always been a problem solver by nature. Rock climbing is essentially about solving problems.
Nice, dude.
Hueco is also kind of special in the sense that, the steps that Hueco Tanks State Park has taken to really control overcrowding issues and erosion and issues with conservation, and I see that it has helped. It's kept this place pretty much unchanged from when I started here 10 years ago.
Hueco Tanks kind of feels like a sanctuary. There's a limit to the amount of people who are allowed into the park, which makes it like a very kind of intimate atmosphere. And one of the benefits to having the limit is there's less damage being put onto like the microenvironments that exist, which I think is a value that we could take into like many other climbing areas around the world. You can inherit the value that all the locals put on this place just by being here. That's something I'm going to remember, and it's one of the things that makes me excited to return.
It's a very loved space, and so I hope that whoever does come by treats it as such and takes care of the land. It feels just timeless in a way.
It's just so beautiful and peaceful.
Kind of hot? A little bit. What's the difference? 110-degree day in Texas or 110 degrees by fire?
They're doing really good, especially since it's their first time, so they're trying to do as much training as possible while we're actually making our goals happen as well.
These students are learning how to conduct a prescribed fire while helping to enhance the habitat for wildlife on the Seven Oaks Ranch.
So what the fire does is it takes out does our best to take out the juniper cedar, and what the cedar does, it sucks up a lot of the water, and so all the surrounding native vegetation doesn't have as much of a chance to grow. So by taking out the cedar, all of the other natural plants, grasses, other trees, flowers have the chance to sort of grow and thrive out here that they didn't have before.
This is my home. I grew up in this region. I grew up on a ranch not too far from here, and anything that deals with habitat restoration in the area it's more of an impact because it is my home. Really cool to see plants that I haven't seen in about 10 years start growing back up again. I'll literally stop on the side of the road and be like, hey, look, there's a side oats grama or blue grama.
Oh my God, there are eggs. I am one of the regulars who come out for the burns here at Seven Oaks. I think volunteer work probably takes about as much time as my actual work, so yeah, but it's really fun. Great birds and reptiles and awesome plants. Why wouldn't I want to come back out every time, so.
They give these kids a chance to learn how to apply fire. Many ranches don't do that. Most shut their gates. The walkers are quite the opposite. The more the merrier. Of course, they're using them as ranch hands.
Well, these volunteers and students and collaborators initially were here just to help us with some work and to get outdoors and maybe get some volunteer hours they needed, but they've turned into friends. I call them, I email them. They're in my life now, as well as some of them with my brothers. So it's created a whole new extended family.
When I met Phil, it was all via text and email at first, and the second I pulled up to the Seven Oaks, he handed me a drip torch and said, hey man, you know what to do, go for it. And like a fire, it's been catching on since.
These young folks are just so inspiring, so positive, so uplifting, and they bring an energy to this place that it wasn't there before. You know, it's the people that make the story. And our story is becoming more about people.
Ready, 1, 2, 3. Let's keep burning!
Leslie, back up, baby.
Well, I've always wanted to do a prescribed burn. It's been something that's been super interesting to me. Done a lot of research on them. I've done projects on them. So I've always wanted to get the opportunity. So as soon as it came, I grabbed it. Oh, I learned so much, more than I thought, more than everybody thought.
We're training a whole new class of new conservation professionals, and without properties for them to learn on, how are they supposed to know how to apply those practices?
Go ahead.
Many of them learning for the first time how to handle a drip torch. Many of them learning for the first time how fire moves, so they learn a lot about fire behavior, and they have fun doing it.
Perfect big smudge on your face. It looks awesome.
Several experts, as well as the volunteer fire department, are on hand to keep the fire in control.
So I think control burns are great prescribed burns. It definitely helps us as firefighters during the grass season when everything dries out. We get some dry lightning or something like that. Everything sparks off. It gives us some fire breaks that are already in place or less vegetation, makes it a little easier to fight. And definitely keeps man hours down on fighting fire.
Education goes beyond fire training on the ranch. The Walkers built a tower with an observation deck to study the stars at night.
Devil's River State Natural Area is there. Big Bend Ranch is over that direction, and we're situated in the middle, and it's got the least amount of light pollution almost all of America.
And they've taken conservation education to the internet.
Yeah, we've started these educational short YouTube videos. We have our own YouTube channel, Seven Oaks Conservation, and we just do short little fun educational videos that hopefully make a difference.
Hey guys, so we just happen to be traveling around the ranch checking for tanks without wildlife rescue ramps. This has never happened before. So we got to this tank, which is very low on water. There's no wildlife ramp in it, and we look inside the tank, and look what's down there. Look at that. So we just put this ramp in here, and we're hoping that he's gonna use it after we're gone. I sure hope he does. So it's important. Wildlife rescue ramps in stock tanks.
Good job, Billy Girl. It's a wonderful day for burn at Seven Oaks here. Light it up.
And now the torch is passing on to the next generation.
Basically means that I'm next in line to kind of run this place very far in the future, but for now they're teaching me how things work and how things run out here so I can kind of see how it all goes.
Ellie will do a wonderful job as the next landowner, steward of the ranch, and she's got a lot of years left to train. So just imagine what she's going to be like in 10 or 20 years. She is going to be stupendous.
Since I was a kid, I've been fascinated with electronics. My dad worked for the phone company. I enjoyed taking apart electronics components as a child. When I got older, I decided that I'd get an amateur radio license and start talking on the air, and really glad that I did. Romeo Tango calling CQ Parks on the Air from Lockhart State Park.
DRT, KF5DPX, how copy? And listening.
KF5DPX, Park to Park. QSL on the 5-9, you are also 5-9 into Busher State
My name's Jake Knobloch, my call sign's KG5DRT, and I'm out here at Lockhart State Park today doing a Parks on the Air activation. Glad to hear you on the air today. Thanks for getting out and activating.
Thanks so much for being out there, 73s. Have fun.
A Parks on the Air activation is when someone takes their amateur radio out to a state or national park and talks to at least 10 people on the radio.
Hey, Roger, Roger.
We put out the general call. Anyone might come back.
DPX, how copy?
Got you, 5-9.
QSL, thanks. Kilo 5 Tango.
Thanks for activating.
We might talk to Europe or Antarctica or someone right here in Texas. KG5 DRT. This is Kilo Golf 5 Delta Romeo Tango. Thanks to everyone that helped me activate today. Glad to hear you on the air. I'm QRT. I've been to a number of Texas state parks, talked on the radio to a whole lot of people, and had a whole lot of fun doing it. You can go out to a park all by yourself, be out in the middle of nowhere, get that feeling of solitude, but as soon as you're lonely, you can turn on the radio and find someone to chat with.
A lot of 80-year-old men can't do that.
Mike Eckert lives just outside of Fredericksburg.
Whoa, don't put that on there.
He's heading down to his creek side to check on one heck of a pesky problem.
The best I understand, that don't spread from seeds. It spreads from pieces of it washing out and lodging somewhere and starting to grow again.
He's talking about giant reed, or Arundo donax, and this cane invader threatens just about every river system in Texas.
We're almost to Pedernales. Another half mile, you hit the Pedernales down here. And they've got this stuff at the Pedernales too. But it's spreading pretty quick. And it's all over. Everywhere you go, it's there. So it's going to take a massive effort to ever wipe it out. And I'm not sure they'll ever wipe it out.
Aquatic invasive species specialist Monica McGarity and a team of biologists are fighting back. They are using an herbicide that will hopefully kill this introduced invasive weed. Indigenous to the Mediterranean, giant reed's been thriving and spreading across North America since the 1800s.
Arundo is a grass, but it's a grass on steroids. It grows 30 to 40 feet tall, huge, dense canes, so dense that wildlife really even can't get through it. And so this is a really aggressive plant, and it's important to take equally aggressive action to manage it.
The team's top priority, protecting the jewel of the Texas Hill Country, the Pedernales River.
So right now we're on Barron's Creek. Barron's Creek is in the upper Pedernales watershed. We've done an aerial survey looking for this plant, the invasive Arundo, and found that this is really the source, Barron's Creek. It doesn't go farther upstream. And so we're trying to tackle that, working from upstream down.
This opens up a little bit back here.
Here it grows to nearly 30 feet high. It creates what we call a monoculture. So it just dominates the vegetation, crowds everything else out. Any small fragment of this plant, just a single node, can root and create a new plant. And so when you have a flood that comes through, or when someone mows or chops it up, fragments go downstream, that can create new plants and create a whole new problem.
Whoop. Yeah, that might be about it. We'll go refill and get back at it.
So what does it take to kill this reed? Thoroughly evaluated by the EPA, it's a mix of herbicides that attacks the plant in different ways.
What the Roundup's going to do is it's going to bake it in the sun, just like if you sprayed Roundup on weeds at the house. This one is clear cast, and this is just another herbicide like Roundup, and it's going to be a long-term released herbicide.
So we're applying this chemical to each area only once per year. And we're applying it as sparingly as we can and trying to ensure that we have as little runoff into the creek as possible. These are approved for use over aquatic habitats, and if used responsibly, can have very little impact on the environment.
Spraying herbicide into a creek sounds alarming, but this ecosystem is closely monitored for any damage.
They're breaking. Oh, getting a lot of gravel.
Just downstream, aquatic biologists study a section of Barron's Creek that has already been sprayed.
We're wanting to see if the aquatic herbicide treatment is having a negative effect on the fish in the invertebrate community.
Got a red-breast sunfish.
We can seine, we can electrofish.
Oh, looks like we'll pull a few out of here.
Yeah. And then we can get a general idea about the health of the stream based upon the health of the fish communities and the invertebrate communities that we're sampling. You got some red breast sunfish, that's mainly what you're seeing. And then, look at that, holy crap! Did you see that?
Yeah.
Dang, look how big that fish is.
Got him a meal.
That is crazy. Never seen that before.
While that snake seems happy and healthy, and it appears there are plenty of fish here at the creek,
Have a largemouth bass. 169.
Gotcha.
this biologist wants to make sure some smaller creatures are just as healthy.
Invertebrates are really great indicators of water quality because they depend on good water quality to complete their life cycle.
Dr. Arch's grub studies aquatic invertebrates.
I primarily focus on the invertebrates, little small critters. You'll see dragonfly larvae, stoneflies, mayflies, just beautiful creatures underwater. You might think of some alien creatures, pretty much right on the head.
The question here is if the chemical spray has affected the mayfly larva, dragonfly larva, and other microscopic wonders. The fish feed on these bugs, and they are a key component of this ecosystem.
The thing with fish is when the water quality recedes, they can actually avoid that bad water area and move further downstream. But the invertebrates, they can't really move. They're not as mobile.
Yeah, there's a lot of little guys on here.
Yeah, let's see if there's anything else on this rock. See those case builders right here?
Mhm.
There's a whole bunch of them here, and they build this shell out of sand particles. Oh yeah, that's a horsefly larva. Go ahead and bag him. Beautiful. Got an amphipod. Let me see if I can catch him for you. There's a damselfly larva. That one's super small. Oh, this one's a beautiful caddisfly, green one. Dobson fly in. No biting, no biting. So far, I got about 85 of them in this jar. Seems like a lot, but there's a lot of dirt also packed in there.
While it seems plenty of tiny bugs are still alive after the treatment, the Arundo taking hold has already had an impact.
So in a typical creek, you might find a huge diversity of invertebrates. Just from a visual estimate, what I have seen so far is in the Arundo stands, we do find a lot fewer invertebrates. These invertebrates, which are native to this area, are not used to the exotic vegetation.
The Arundo tends to take over, and it causes huge changes to the channel shape that can really impact the quality of the habitat, not only on the banks, but then also within the stream or the river itself.
They didn't get the chemical back there.
Now as for Mike, he had the aquatic invasive team spray his Arundo outbreak and hopes more folks along the creek will join the fight.
What you need to do, really and truly, is have a beer and barbecue, and it'll have the whole town come to it, and everybody know about it. These Germans like free beer and barbecue up here.
Here, we want to be as careful as we can of their trees.
While Barron's Creek looks like it just might win the Arundo battle. To win the war, it's going to take a buy-in from everyone.
Lots of landowners are getting involved and taking action to manage Arundo on their creeks, and also reaching out to their neighbors and their friends to get more people on board. And by everyone getting involved, we have a really good chance of making a really big difference for the health of the streams in the hill country.
Wish you could spend more time with nature? Well, every month you can have the great outdoors delivered to you. Since 1942, Texas Parks and Wildlife magazine has been the outdoor magazine of Texas. Every issue is packed with outstanding photography and writing about the wild things and wild places of this great state. And now Texas's best outdoor magazine is available as an app. It's just that easy. Texas Parks and Wildlife magazine. Your connection to the great outdoors.
This series is supported in part by Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation, conserving the wild things and wild places of Texas thanks to members across the state.
Additional funding provided by the Toyota Tundra. Your local Toyota dealers are proud to support outdoor recreation and conservation in Texas. Adventure is what we share.